You are walking down a bustling city street. You have been walking for an hour, your legs are tired, and you want to sit down. You look around. There are no benches. There is a stone ledge near a bank, but it has sharp metal brackets bolted onto the corners every 2 feet. There is a flat concrete slab near a corporate office, but it is covered in small, decorative metal studs. Under the bridge across the street, a field of sharp, concrete spikes protrudes from the dirt. Nearby, there is a beautiful sunny plaza filled with comfortable chairs. But the chairs are inside a fenced barrier, and a sign warns that they are reserved exclusively for the patrons of a local cafe. If you want to rest your legs, you must pay the $6 rent of a cappuccino. This is the reality of the modern city. Public space is losing its places to sit. It is easy to assume that this is just a minor oversight by city planners, but the disappearance of seating is a highly engineered, deliberate movement. It is a design philosophy known as hostile architecture, or defensive design. Cities are actively using physical materials to manage your behavior, discourage loitering, and dictate who is allowed to exist in a space. The city is changing what public space is for. It is transitioning from a community living room into a corridor of commerce and movement where resting for free is treated as a minor crime. To understand how we ended up standing in our own streets, we have to look back at the history of architecture as a tool of social control. Using buildings to manage behavior is not a modern invention. In 19th century England, property owners faced a constant public health problem: pedestrians urinating in the dark corners of their brick buildings. In response, they installed urine deflectors, slanted stone wedges built directly into the corners of the walls. If a pedestrian tried to use the corner as a toilet, the angle of the stone was engineered to redirect the stream directly back onto their own shoes and trousers. The architecture itself acted as the police force, using physics to enforce public hygiene. Modern hostile architecture has simply replaced the urine deflector with the defensive bench, and the ultimate monument to this philosophy is the Camden Bench. Commissioned by the Camden London Borough Council in 2012, this block of raw concrete was designed by Factory Furniture to be the ultimate anti-object. It was engineered to restrict 6 different types of public behavior simultaneously. Its undulating, angular surfaces make it physically impossible for a person to lie down, preventing sleeping. Its sloping edges are embedded with steel ridges, making it impossible for skateboarders to grind on it. It has no seams, slots, or crevices, meaning drug dealers cannot hide contraband in it, and litter cannot collect. The base features special recesses, allowing users to tuck their bags behind their legs to prevent snatch-and-grab thefts. And it is finished with a non-permeable coating that repels graffiti paint. The Camden Bench is not designed to welcome you. It is designed to tolerate your presence just long enough to rest, but not long enough to settle in. But does removing places to sit actually make a city safer? In 1980, urbanist William Hawley Whyte published a landmark study called The Social Life of Small Urban Spaces. Whyte spent years set up with hidden cameras, filming how people used plazas, parks, and streets in New York City. He wanted to understand why some public spaces were vibrant and alive, while others remained empty and sterile. His conclusion was simple. The single most important factor for a successful public space is sittability, the presence of comfortable, free places to sit. And Whyte discovered a profound paradox. City planners often removed benches because they feared they would attract undesirables, like homeless people, drug dealers, or rowdy teenagers. But Whyte proved that removing seating had the opposite effect. When you remove benches, you do not eliminate antisocial behavior. You simply drive away the ordinary, law-abiding public who need a place to rest. Without normal citizens sitting, reading, and talking, the space loses what urbanist Jane Jacobs called eyes on the street, the natural informal surveillance of a community watching itself. The plaza becomes a vacuum, making it more dangerous, not less. By designing a space to repel the worst members of society, you succeed only in repelling everyone. Yet, cities continue to remove benches because public space is undergoing a transition from civic to commercial. In many cities, free public seating is systematically replaced by the pay-to-sit model. Municipalities remove public benches and lease the sidewalk space to private restaurants and cafes for outdoor tables. If you have money to buy a meal, you are welcome to sit on a comfortable cushion for 2 hours. If you are poor, you must stand. The right to exist in the open air is monetized. Even the spaces that look public are often not. In New York, a system called POPs, privately owned public spaces, allows developers to build taller skyscrapers in exchange for creating public plazas at the base of their buildings. While these plazas look like public squares, they are privately owned and managed. The owners employ private security guards who strictly police behavior. They can prevent you from sitting on a ledge, reading a book, or simply standing still, filtering the population to maintain a sanitized corporate image. The space is public in appearance, but private in control. In areas where people must wait, like bus stops and subway platforms, transit authorities have replaced flat benches with leaning bars, or perches, slanted metal rails that you can only lean against. This is framed as active transit design, but its engineering purpose is to optimize throughput. By making resting physically tiring, the architecture forces passengers to remain on their feet, ensuring they board the train immediately and clear the platform, preventing loitering. This same logic is used in shopping malls. If you walk through a high-end shopping mall, you will notice a distinct lack of benches in the common walkways. This is a calculated retail strategy. If a tired shopper can sit down for free in the corridor, their adrenaline drops, and they stop shopping. By keeping them on their feet, the physical fatigue forces them to make a choice. Either enter a store, where seating is provided as a psychological reward for browsing, or go to the food court, where buying food earns them the right to sit down. The lack of benches is a physical engine designed to drive retail sales, and if you do find a bench, it is often designed to monitor your stay through physical discomfort. Urban designers use high-conductivity materials like steel or raw concrete. During winter, these materials act as heat sinks, rapidly draining warmth from your body, making long sights painful. Some benches are angled forward, causing your leg muscles to fatigue over time and prompting you to move on. Others are divided by metal armrests. While these dividers do serve a legitimate utility, helping elderly or disabled users push themselves up to stand, they also serve a secondary, more defensive purpose. They subdivide the bench into discrete segments, making it physically impossible for a person to lie down. In some cities, the architecture is reinforced by acoustic warfare. Business owners install the mosquito, an acoustic exclusion device that emits a high-frequency sound at around 17.4 kHz. Because of presbycusis, the natural degradation of hearing that comes with age, only people under the age of 25 can hear this high-pitched hum. To teenagers, the sound is a painful, drilling noise that makes standing near the storefront unbearable. To older adults, the space is perfectly silent. It is an age-selective physical barrier made of sound waves. When physical barriers and sound waves are not enough, cities use the law. In several cities in the United States, local governments have passed sit-lie ordinances, which make it a crime to sit or lie down on a public sidewalk during business hours. The physical absence of benches is backed by the threat of arrest. The disappearance of places to sit is not a minor detail of urban aesthetics. It is a quiet rewrite of the social contract of our cities. A bench is a symbol of permission. It is a physical statement by the city that says, "You are welcome to exist here, even if you are not spending money. You are allowed to rest, to watch the clouds, to read a book, and to participate in the life of the community." When we remove benches, we turn our public plazas into corridors. We tell our citizens that their value is measured only by their transactions and that their exhaustion is their own private problem. The next time you find yourself walking through a city, feeling your feet ache, and looking at a stone ledge covered in metal spikes, remember the urine deflector. The city is talking to you through the concrete, and it is telling you to keep moving. If you want to understand more about the hidden systems of daily life, subscribe, because next time we'll look at a space built for health that secretly turned human movement into a commercial transaction.